Thanks for coming. Obviously, I think this is a exciting time for us, to be in the playoffs, exciting time for our university, our athletic program. We're looking forward to this. Obviously, it's a huge matchup. I think it's probably one of the matchups that everybody wanted to see in the region. I know everybody in the Southland Conference, I think, obviously wants to see this matchup. Fans, players, coaches, everybody. And it's going to be a great football game. Sam Houston is a very talented football team. I think they've got some incredible skill players, very good up front offensive line. Defensively, they got a great defensive line. They got a very experienced secondary. Very quality ball club, and they've done a great job and had a great season. They finished the season extremely strong, and they're on a roll and probably playing their best football right now. So we're looking forward to that. I'll be going over there, and it's a tough place to play. Obviously in their stadium, and again, it's playoff time though. It's time to play your best football. No excuses. You win or go home. So, any questions?
It's the team that you played twice last year, and yet it's not the same team in any way in terms of personnel, certainly, and
Yeah.
coach. How are they different from what you saw last year, what we saw here last year?
Well, they're different, probably not as much. Defensively, they're very similar. Collins is still, DC is still there as a co-DC. So defensively, it hadn't changed that much. Offensively, obviously, it's a totally different scheme. Player-wise, they went and got, they graduated a lot of great players. They've been there for a long time, doing some great things, but they turned around and went and got a couple of transfers at the wide receiver position, and they may be better at that position than they were the previous 2 years. Obviously, the Hill kid's been around for a while, and he's a great tailback, and and the quarterback again is a guy that has really developed throughout the season. He's a true dual threat guy. He's a big quarterback that can run, and obviously he's done an exceptional job doing that. And they're very good at running the football, and obviously that's the key in winning playoff games. Play great defense, run the football, and you got a chance.
Last year, Bell was not maybe the superior athlete, but
Right.
he actually had some effective runs, key runs in those games. This guy probably a better runner than Bell, right?
Yeah, he's a better runner. He's a better, obviously Bell's thing is he's great at just managing a complete game, and won a lot of football games for him. Was a tremendous quarterback. This guy is a better athlete running the football. Can really hurt you. And that's probably their biggest, their most explosive plays is him running the ball in the option or pulling the ball down on a quarterback draw and running the football. Those are probably the two most explosive plays they've had.
Didn't they run read option last year? I mean, some.
Last year they did a lot. I mean, they've been under one of Coach Fritz. They were primarily an option football team and doing that. So you're not seeing as much of that. Obviously, not as much option game. They're traditional. They're set up to really throw the ball around and spread around the field, and they're doing that, and they're still doing that. But they've probably geared back in the last half of the season. They're leaning more on the run, letting the run obviously set things up and creating those situations because they run the ball so effectively. They're getting one-on-one situations with their wide receivers, and they're a mismatch for a lot of people.
Coach, they get a bye earlier in the season. We get one later in the season. Plus, with the extra time being off the Nichols, does that really help?
I think so. I mean, I think we're pretty fresh right now. I think the tough thing, obviously, I said that when we were at that stretch, we got that bye. You go 8-9 weeks in a row. If they're hard-nosed football games, it can be. It's not just a physical drain. You're banged up, but it's a mental drain of having to get ready and get up every week to play your best football, and it can be a really emotional and mentally draining on you to do that. So, I think we're fresh, but this is playoff football. It's not like I don't expect them to show up. I mean, they're gonna show up and play great, and I think both teams do that. We're gonna have a dogfight and one heck of a football game going in the fourth quarter, and it depends on who plays the best on Saturday.
Their defense is, been about middle of the pack in terms of their conference and all that. Where, is there strengths that you see there?
I think their strengths are front four. I mean, they got the one kid is a freshman. The defensive end is phenomenal. He's a freshman, and he's going to be a phenomenal football player in his conference and in the country. He's a big-time player. 92? Yeah. P.J. Hall. And then obviously the inside players are very good. They got a transfer from Cal. He's, again, kid we recruited. We were on him as well, and he's a phenomenal football player, and he's very dominating inside. But they're also fun. All front four is very good football players.
Is there it always comes down to, that stop run thing, but this really does shape up as a smash mouth kind of game, really. With what they like to do and what you.
Yeah, you're going to see the two top run teams in the conference going at it. And I know they're middle of the pack on defense, but I'm going to say they're one of the better defenses in the conference, just because their physicality up front. And I think they're playing a lot better. They're not the same team when they were 1-3. They're not the same football team they were. They changed philosophies. They changed what they were doing, and so they're a much better football team right now.
I know you have to appreciate that, the 1-3 start and
oh yeah.
The potential for a season, especially losing to a Division II school.
Yeah.
It was like it was a dirty word around there.
Yeah.
But the negativity could have been an issue, and it wasn't for them.
No doubt.
Kind of like you guys have been through the same sort of thing,
Yeah.
to a degree with SEMO.
Yeah. Definitely those situations that you're flirting with disaster, because it very easily can turn and get away from you, and you can't get in control of it again. And obviously, he's an experienced football coach, and so he's been there and done that before, and done an amazing job of turning their season around and getting where they're at right now.
Coach, we saw some limited action from Brian at Nichols. Maybe comment on him as far as where he stands.
Yeah, he's still got he got a sprained foot. He's feeling actually a lot better today than he did last week, even at game time Thursday for that. So I think the best thing was getting him out of that game and not re-injuring that thing. So he feels a lot better today. He's going to play. Will he be 100%? No. I don't think he's going to be that way probably for the remainder of the season. So, but I think he'll be ready to go, and we'll see how much can he do and how effective is he.
This was a team that sort of, these games always come down to turnovers, and that was a team that was making a lot of them early in the season. It doesn't look like so many recently. So, do you see a key to this thing that as it plays out?
Well, that's going to be huge. I think when you get in playoff football, it kind of goes back to a lot of those things. You're not going to walk in most of the time and overpower somebody. They're going to be, nail biters, and hopefully our guys understand that. They experienced last year. We won in the last seconds. We score against Sam, beat them 30-29, and then we lose the other one. Heck, they go take the ball down and score with a minute something on the clock, and to go up on us and beat us in a tough one. That's playoff football. So it's always going to be important, again, about protecting the football, eliminating your mistakes. Everybody right now is playing, anybody in those 24 teams are good football teams. That's why they're there. So you can't make mistakes, because you make mistakes, they can capitalize on them. So I don't see anything different coming in this one. It's going to be a heck of a matchup, and I think it's going to be a hard-fought football game. And if we both play really well, then I think it's going to be a game that's going to go right down to the wire in the fourth quarter. And, who's got that ball last?
I think this is a team that kind of the developing the rivalry is developing over these last couple of years. They're going into this game, they remember what happened last season.
Yeah.
And yet on your part, I'm thinking that maybe you guys go over there and say, hey, you guys got something that belongs to us, and so maybe from the intangible point of view, the mental motivational thing.
Well, I think there's a lot of those kind of things, and people will look into all those things stuff. But for our guys, we're not going to put a whole lot of focus on it. Really, it's about really doing their job, and they're going to be up for it. They're going to hear all that stuff enough that it's going through their own minds. It's playoff football. If I got to do something to get your ticker going, then you probably don't belong in this race. Yeah, I like where we're at. Obviously, if you win, you like it a lot. If you don't, then you're not real happy with what you drew. But I think, again, I think it's a great matchup. I think it's a great matchup for the whole Southeast region. This is it. It's going to be great for the Southland Conference. I think it's going to be great for the region. We just got to win and take them one at a time.
So you're not thinking about Jacksonville State and beyond at all?
No, we haven't actually we haven't seen that. No, we got our hands full with Sam Houston. I mean, they're the reason we're both co-champions, and this is it. So I know they'll be very excited to play us, and they're looking forward to that opportunity, and so are we.